me hear again.
This isn't easy for me. I know we've been together a long time, but I found somebody else.
Doofy's talking to his vacuum.
Yeah. Don't look at me like that. We can still be friends. You can come into my room whenever you want.
The composition of the shot is actually quite good.
No! Okay, just one time.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he doesn't put that thing on his dick.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
That's when he comes. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oh, he's really going for it. There's a. Wow, Dave Sheridan really earned his keep. The great Dave Sheridan really earned his. There's actually a Japanese noise band called the Garo Gary Gay Gay Gay, which were two fetishists, and it featured a man who would suction his penis with a vacuum on stage.
That's good.
So, who's to say...
Is that as good as Scary Movie?
Oh, boy, I don't know. They're both offensive things that I like. Welcome to When Will It End? Coffee in the morning. Couple of friends sitting down and talking movies.
I was going to say you're dating the podcast, but you're really just houring the podcast? Oh, it's nice. Oh, my God. Is this a full... Wait, can I ask you a question?
The best part of waking up is Charles in your cup.
Okay. It's intelligentsia coffee.
Ooh, so we're very smart men today.
Yes.
Drinking a very smart coffee and talking about a very smart movie.
I wish.
You didn't think it was... Hold on, you didn't think it was a smart movie?
Let's start over. Let's start back. Pull back.
No, fine.
We got to pull back. We started with the end credit sequence, and I understand why you're giddy to get started.
I'm giddy.
I'm wondering if you're even going to ask me the titular question of the show already. Let's calm down.
Okay, I'm sorry. It's When Will It End? It's a movie podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Charles.
We watch a whole series of movies that you don't have to. Sometimes these are good movies that are fun to watch, and other times they make us feel sad, and it's weird that we do this. And mostly it's fun, and we all have a good time, and it's good to listen. And
this is good. They make sure,
yeah.
just in case you're concerned, everyone.
This is fun.
We have fun sometimes.
Yeah, we have fun sometimes.
Yeah, we mostly have fun.
Don't ignore the critics. Ignore the iTunes reviews.
Oh, I know. Everyone's saying, like, wow, how these fucking guys are trudging through mud in the same way that a 1917 person did.
Yeah, no, sure. Much like in the manner of 1917 when the guy walked for, like, it seemed like not that much, but
2
also
hours.
a lot. Yeah.
That's what, when you learn that 1917's thing is that it's all one take, you're like, oh, so this is just going to be a 2-hour walk? They're making it seem like a really big deal, but it's just a 2-hour walk. Oh, but wait, no, he gets in a truck for maybe 3 minutes. So if their truck's going 30, I guess that really shaved maybe...
If two trucks drive across no man's land going 30 miles an hour across a 70-mile span, and a bird is
going the same direction?
The other direction
to
the two trucks.
Why are there two trucks?
At a quick clip of 45 kilometers
Just in case,
per second.
much in the same way that 1917 had two men.
Oh, fuck.
We lost one.
So, in 1917, the guy hurts his hand, then he sticks his hand in the corpse.
Yeah, that was the most terrifying part of the movie.
I thought it'd be funny if he kept, like, stepping in corpses. And he's got corpse shoes. Mendez would have fucking nailed that Oscar
Oh
if
my
he was just trudging with corpse shoes.
Can you imagine? It already got nominated for Best Screenplay.
And
Best
it's so good.
Original Screenplay.
Let's all share our favorite quotes from 1917. Oh, cherries.
That was my favorite quote.
Cherries. Yum, yum.
Gov, how you know so much about cherries?
I bloody love cherries.
My mother grew cherries of all varieties. Big ones, small ones, red ones, green ones. But I think the green ones are just underripe.
I like that they had the old school calling the Germans the Bosch.
I thought they kept talking about the show.
Yeah, the mighty Bosch.
No, the Amazon show.
Oh yeah, Bosch. Right. The thing is, he's a detective, but his mother was a sex worker who was murdered. So
right, and it was very confusing every time they called the Germans
justice.
Bosch.
Right.
Like,
where's that? He's crusty on the outside, but his sense of duty, is so especially in the LAPD, which is a cesspool of corruption.
Yeah.
Bosch is the only guy out there trying to make a decent day's work.
Really?
Yeah,
he's the only one?
He probably has helpers. I only saw one episode. It was good. I don't know. There's crimes.
Also, I think the bad boys... Oh, no, they're in Miami. I always think that the bad boys are in L.A., but...
Well, we're from
Miami.
New England, so whenever there's like a warm-looking city, it could be anywhere else in the world. It could be Dubai. It could be fucking Abu Dhabi.
Dubai's got the big building that everyone recognizes as Dubai.
It's Dubai. Do you think people would go there just to look at the tower where the great Tom Cruise?
I would.
When friggin' he climbed on the outside of the building.
You know what? I would get eggs.
Bird
I would get
movie.
eggs thrown at me.
Wow. Why?
Scaling. Like people are now going to the Joker steps.
Oh yeah.
And business owners like, stop dancing on my steps.
Why can't people I'm talking about the locals there. Just embrace
Yeah.
that they could be near Oscar award-winning adjacent steps.
And Oscar award-winning adjacent, maybe double adjacent fans.
They're in right, exactly. Because I think when a movie I love wins an Oscar, it's like me myself personally winning an Oscar.
Oh my God! When I like it and it doesn't win,
Oh, I'm so mad.
I fucking feel like, what did I do wrong this year?
Let's talk about these Oscars for a minute.
Oh my God,
They
we're
were
doing
a
an Oscar
joke.
corner.
They were just
Oh,
a
God.
joke.
Wait, you didn't finish.
Let me go off. Fuck,
You didn't
let me
finish
go
your
off.
bit about how dumb locals are.
Oh, they're so
Can you just make sure to
dumb.
finish
Look,
that one?
Look, okay, you're next to movie history. You don't own that anymore. All of our collective imagination own it now.
I'm gonna posit a theory.
Okay.
I mean, I think Oscar Wilde already posited, so I'm just gonna reposit.
Someone's got to go with either me or this wallpaper.
Right, that's it. So the locals, come on.
They
Come on,
died.
the wallpaper.
You freaking died.
Now life
That's so classy.
imitates art. Do you even think those stairs were there before Joaquin
The twisted imagination
danced
of one
upon them?
Todrick Phillips.
Todrick now.
Yes.
That's good. Do you think that's his real
yes,
name?
I don't think so.
No.
Nope.
But it's a good name. We should tell him to change his name to Todrick.
Hey, Todd, if you're listening, change that fucking name. Imagine you're at the Oscars getting your Oscar for fucking Joker Man, and they're like, one Todrick Phillips, bestest director.
Do you think we have that much influence and clout? We already did strangely influence the...
Hold on, he's got clout. He's got clout because he's the clown prince of fucking crime in
That's so
Gotham.
good. Wait, but we have clout.
With who?
Joaquin's got clout.
He's got clout. Yeah.
What else could we have here? Let's see. Clout.
I got like 10 minutes on the Oscars. We just want to ignore that.
Okay, let's do
These
that. I'm
Oscars
sorry.
are a joke.
Yes.
What happened? Freaking 1917 is so long ago. It's not even a centennial anymore. Why even award it?
Wow,
If they're
you're right.
so fucking smart, put that shit out in 2017, then go collect your
Oh
Oscar.
my God.
Your little golden man.
Mendes was doing something dumb, probably. What was he doing?
I bet he was like 90% done with American Beauty 2. And then all the Spacey shit came out. Spacey's back.
Oh no.
Spacey didn't die. They revealed that the shot just missed his heart or whatever.
Good.
In American
Sort of
Beauty.
like a Star Wars thing where
Right.
they're like, oh, your
But Chris
parents-
Cooper broke out of jail.
Oh yeah.
He broke out of jail. He's out of jail, and now he's got to fight him again in the suburbs. And
It's directed by M. Night Shyamalan,
Right.
though, so Mendes is still fine.
And this time Spacey's like trying to be like a Zoomer. Now he's like
Yeah.
on TikTok all day. He's not working. He's not smoking weed anymore. He's doing like vape hits.
You know that
He's blowing
movies
clouds.
is still a very old generation thing because phone use is still like not in any movies.
In 1917, the most unrealistic part to me is that no one checked their phone.
And the thing is that yes, we've seen a lot of movies where people are on their goddamn devices.
Don't get me started.
I will not.
Oh God.
But they don't even do anything on their goddamn devices. Like
But
I
then-
want to see it. Like I guess maybe Booksmart was a close one, but like there's very few movies that actually show like social media engagement on devices.
Yeah, I mean, like if I was gonna write a scene between two Zoomers, it'd be like, "Hey, I just got a new follow on Insta."
Wait, but how would they be? Are they talking like?
No, they're
using their
texting in
mouths?
the same
Okay,
room.
God, yeah,
they're texting in the same goddamn room.
Yeah, thank you.
They're like, "Hey, I got a couple likes on my new Insta post,"
Mm-hmm.
and then their friends like, "The Finsta or the Insta?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, the Finsta."
Wait, what's the Finsta?
That's the secret one that the young people have.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, see, I'm great.
There's their public facing one, then there's their private one for their friends, where they just say stuff like,
Oh, okay.
"Oh my God, I just snorted a line of cum, and now I'm gonna fucking watch Cars 2."
That's just yours.
Shut the fuck up!
That's
You
just
don't know
your
that. You don't know
Finsta.
that.
It's your Finsta.
Maybe it is.
But I feel like The Irishman, also speaking of Oscar season,
No one checks their phones once.
Right,
in
that
the
could
movie,
have
and I'm
been-
like, that's so
if
unrealistic.
Scorsese was actually a good filmmaker,
Hold on. In The Departed, there is, I would say, pioneering cell phone use for
That's true.
2006.
using
A
it.
crucial moment in the movie involves someone using fucking T9 on a fucking
Uh-huh.
Norelco to like, not Norelco, that's a kind of tape case, on a fucking Motorola to, that's huge.
That was big, but the problem was back then. I lived in Boston,
Fuck.
and you know what I knew?
Ooh.
You know what I knew?
What?
You can't use your cell phone in the subway.
In 2006?
It did
Fuck
not
no. They're not
work.
in the subway in that one.
They
That's
are.
when they're,
no,
they're in the
boss
fucking...
is. Yeah, he's on the roof, but the boss is in the subway. Charlie Sheen. So I went to IMDb.com.
Martin Sheen.
Sorry,
Different Sheens.
same Sheen.
Charlie Sheen could never have played Jebediah Bartlett in
That
The
is
West
true.
Wing.
No, God, that'd be so weird.
He was a cool Christian. Remember, he was so lit
Oh
as a
my
Christian
God,
in that
so
movie.
fucking cool.
He was like the cool kind of Christian, as we all know.
Yeah, a smart, cool Republican
No, he was a Democrat, but he was an
But-
award-winning economist and a Catholic.
Yeah.
God, imagine spending 5 fucking minutes in Sorkin's brain. And I think like it's like in Star Trek where you're too close to the core and your body just melts away.
At
It's
the
like
end of Star
Chernobyl
Trek
in there.
too?
Yeah, where it's like
Yeah.
you're Spock and he's the fucking core. And like, okay, we make the Cell 2 and it's about fixing Aaron Sorkin's brain because his genius brain overloaded. And you have to go into his brain full of all of his characters. Peter Krause from News Radio.
Yeah.
No, that different show. From Sports Night. News
Yeah.
Radio's different show. Different show.
I mean, it's
Phil Hartman, though. Phil Hartman's in there for some reason. Alive.
Yeah.
Unmurdered.
I was thinking more of like a Magic School Bus episode. Where they go
Right.
into Aaron Sorkin's brain.
And just Dule Hill and Allison Janney like explaining like it's
Yeah,
like
how his
exchanging
brain works.
barbs and yeah.
Mhm.
God, how fucking awesome would that be?
Magic
And Jeff
School.
Daniels is there as newsroom guy and he's saying stuff like America's not great.
I know.
It's stupid.
Yeah, that was that was a really good scene.
It's so good.
I love that show.
He told off like all the libs and
Yeah.
like, the conserves and
He's so smart because he's both at once.
what happened to common sense politicking?
Sorkin is really good at that.
Yeah, he
At
better win
making
the
a
Oscar this year.
centrist. He's actually probably been shifting this climate towards like a Biden or something.
He 100% is the jack off who like, was like, well, what if like smart people just like argue for a while until they agree on some stupid, horrible policy? Like that's how you get like the Affordable Care Act, where it's like,
Mhm.
let's do something that's like is like a vague gesture towards like a step forward, and yet is in so many ways a confirmation that our system is so mired in corporate
Yeah.
responsibilities that it's not ever going to shift remotely towards a just system.
There's a cat.
We're joined by a cat.
Joined by a cat.
Any thoughts on the Sorkin controversy? Is he too smart?
That's Blue.
And Blue. No, Blue's not right.
No, she's
Not
Blue.
the cat.
Yeah, she's Blue. She
Well,
doesn't
that's
respond.
here's my problem. We look at this country, we see things blue, red, blue, red, blue, red.
That's just Blue.
What happened to red, white, and blue?
Ah, Great
Heck,
question.
and black and brown. Everybody.
What are you talking about?
I'm doing a Biden-style stump speech about
Okay,
unity.
cool. That's good. Yeah.
I know a guy. I used to know a guy. There was a time where I knew a guy.
Yeah. Take a sip. Take a sip. Nice sip. Daddy's mic. Close it up.
I gotta say, that's a damn fine cup of Joe.
Yeah. Cup of Joe.
You ever seen freaking Twin Peaks? It shows a fucking random as hell.
Yes, I don't get it.
Well, one makes no sense. Two, everyone says cool shit like, pie.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
I got a bumper sticker that says, "Don't blame me. I voted for Agent Dale Cooper
You
on
do?
my car."
I really like that.
Yeah.
He's the
Of course he
best.
fucking would. We should go as log lady for Halloween.
Oh my god. I used to date someone that went as log lady.
Legally, all white women who went to liberal arts college must dress as log lady.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a
but how do you
requirement.
think they choose their log?
Oh, I bet it's a whole thing. I bet it's cute. Where they're like, it's for a costume. There's a.
But where do they go to like the woods?
It's for a costume. Pause. I'm doing the log lady.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh yeah.
But what do you think they go to like Home Depot? Do they sell?
There's probably an Etsy page that just sells
Yeah.
logs to white
I mean,
ladies.
there's definitely people that knit log lady logs. I'm sure of that. So you don't have to carry a whole log the whole night.
Do you ever think about your guts as knitting together a log for pooping?
No,
It's like what's going on down there. That's kind of what's happening. They're knitting it together.
that was an insane, just your mind. I want to go inside the mind of Josh.
Oh boy!
I just said knitting a log, and you're like, wow,
That's
have
kind
you
of
pooped?
the large
today?
intestine does. I haven't pooped yet. But
Yeah, you're probably
I
thinking
ate
about
kind
it.
of weird yesterday because I recorded for like hours yesterday. So, I mean, we'll get into it, I guess. I had a chicken sandwich at a pub, and then I had like a weird power biscuit at Dunkin' Donuts.
Power biscuit,
Yeah.
a turkey one.
A turkey, egg, and cheese power biscuit with like
Yeah.
a very disc-like multigrain bread-like thing around it.
That sounds awful.
It was
I'm
actually
sorry.
okay. We really gotta start talking about the movie.
About the Oscars again?
Yeah, what's the deal with these Oscars?
Well, we're doing an Oscar party. We should do a special Oscars episode.
Yeah, it's good. You want to do it live? So we could do it on Twitch.
Yeah, listen live.
No,
No,
watch
Twitch.
it.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. I don't even know what that is really. But we could tweet. No one
It's
follows
where
us on
gamers.
Twitter.
It's where gamers of all political backgrounds play games on video.
Yeah, I stayed
There's
the
socialists.
night at my friend's night.
There's
house.
white nationalists.
Hmm.
All of them are together on Twitch.
I stayed. I was over at my friend's house. Got a little drunk, so I stayed the night. I know. Don't look at me like that.
Oh, can I do it now? Can I do my virtue signal thing?
Yeah.
I've been sober for almost 3 weeks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That feels nice.
Thank you. Yes, it's good. Dry January. I was smirking at that. Then I was like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
All my coworkers are doing dry February, I think, because it's shorter.
I think as all your coworkers are pushing it off a month at a time. They're like, oh, yeah, try March.
Well, I think
try
for
April.
them,
try
it's
April.
like they like drinking and watching football games.
I mean, I do like watching that pigskin get thrown around.
Yeah. And then our holiday party's on the 3rd of February, so I think they're just going to... That's the thing, they could have just kicked off February real big with the Super Bowl, February 2nd. Holiday party, February 3rd. They could just come right back in strong. I think they're going to go out strong.
I want to thank the gods of culture for giving us the Super Bowl and the Oscars in the same month, and Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
That's such a cool month.
Wow. And you forgot about Black History Month.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're watching the scary movies. I think
That counts.
this is a tour de force for the Wayans brothers, except for some parts which are very bad. No.
Well, I just want to finish my story about Twitch. I stayed the night because I was drunk, and then at like 3 a.m, this is when his roommate gets home from work. He goes on Twitch and screams and belittles people.
Is it a sex
people
thing?
pay. Yes, I think it's fully clothed and non-sexual, but I think people take it sexually, where he just like is playing a video game, but he really just screams at his watchers. Are that what they called, watchers?
Who
Twitch
watches
watchers?
the Twitch watchers?
Yeah,
I don't know.
watchers.
I don't know. I'm not a nerd. I'm cool.
So out
We're
of
doing
this.
a movie podcast.
All right, let's just talk about a scary movie.
So today we're talking
It
about
was scary though. That was
movie.
scary.
Yeah.
I woke up.
You know what's scary?
to
Society.
A man screaming in his attic bedroom, and I talked to my friend the next day. I was like, "What the fuck was he yelling at?" He's like, "Oh, he just does Twitch."
Wow.
I was like, "I'm fucked. I want to be like Scorsese and just live in my own little world and call movies pictures still." And
You got to hear his Fresh Air interview. It's great.
he talks a lot.
It's good. That's what you want. They'll be dead soon. And
Yeah.
Jerry's like, wow, you sure were around a lot of death growing up? And he's like, I was.
He talks like Mickey Mouse. I got to listen to this whole interview.
He's like, the Irishman. No, actually, it's good ass interview. I'll give you a little treat from it. He's like, yeah, I picked the still of the night because when I was a young Catholic, the priest always told me death would come like a thief in the night. In the still of the night.
In the still
of the night. Scary movie came out in the year 2000.
Yeah.
We're like, how do we step boldly into this new millennia? Is it a millennia now? The 20s? Is that a whole millennia, or just like a shorter one?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, is it a whole millennia or just like a little one?
I don't understand your question. Is
The
what?
20s.
Can
The
you please
2020s.
tell
The
me what
2020s. Is it just a little? Is it like a little one or
This
like
is not a
full one?
millennia. It's a
I'm
decade.
just checking.
You fucking dumbass.
Holy shit. Let me fucking live a little. So directed by Keenan Ivory Wayans and written by, Sean Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Buddy Johnson, Phil Bowman, Jason Friedberg, and Aaron Seltzer. This movie is a real relic of its time. It came out in the year 2000 and is delightfully... Okay, so here's the tagline, and this is what I was getting at earlier when in the kitchen when you were making coffee. I
saw the tagline. Read it to me.
No mercy,
Yep.
no shame,
Yep.
no sequel.
Yeah.
So this was supposed to be like we're going to get in, bust some fucking
Oh my
balls.
god!
We're
And
gonna
how many
make fun of
balls
the-
did they bust? At least 7.
And we see some balls in the
We
movie.
do, but they don't get busted, and that scene sucked.
That scene is... I don't know if that's the worst part of the movie, but it's bottom 2.
Top
I
bottom
would say the
2.
entire character doofy, followed by the Miss Man bit. Those are 2 bad bits.
All
Because the homophobic bits, like, I really hate to admit that, like, the slow boil Leslie Nielsen style thing they're doing with Ray in the movie is, I think, genuinely funny.
Who's Ray? Is he the
Ray is the closeted football player who at the end is dubiously gay, but that whole bit is tortured.
It's weird. I think it doesn't work. Well,
Okay, let's get back to that.
We'll go back. We're gonna go back. We're gonna go through one by one and count all the cultural hate crimes because we sat through.
Blue is active. The cat is jumping around.
That was Blue.
Wow.
Got so close
Just amazing.
and then sprinted away like a fairy.
Well, we talked about this last night. This movie was the closest to the Mike Myers. Let's call it the Mike Myers parallel.
Yeah.
Where like it's a line in the sand where on one side you have the movie Goldmember, which is I think legitimately has some of my favorite bits in any movie, and he's delightful and unhinged.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah,
I love gold.
Josh, I'm gonna come out and tell you something.
Okay,
I pretty much only like that because you love it so much.
That's fine.
And I'm now into it.
look, the point I'm trying to make is that
Also, that the way you do it is the way most people do the Admiral Akbar thing, where if you actually watch Return of the Jedi again,
it's a trap.
he's like, it's a trap.
He actually texts it.
Yeah. That's the reason. Come on, man. It's like,
I turned off the little vibrating thing on the phone now, so I just no, like
That's smart.
Yeah.
Wow, you grew up finally. I was
Shut
waiting
the
for you to grow up. You finally
Such
grew
a
up.
condescending piece
So,
of shit.
so we got the research noise. And we got the text noise. Oh my god, you're a genius.
I'm fucking good at
You're
this.
a fucking genius.
Please,
remember that scene
please,
Spaceballs? Are you
please,
the direct descendant of that guy?
Please. Shut
You
up.
got the blips, the bloops. Can you do those?
Is that the same guy from?
Probably.
Yeah, God.
He's the sound guy.
He was working. He was doing a lot of work that period of time. Okay, so this movie is certainly a hate crime. I want to get out in front of this and be like, Scary Movie has a very year 2000 level of transphobia and homophobia, which is unfortunately predictable from that era of comedy that was ubiquitous to that entire generation of like slapstick films. The joke being nothing is funnier than a masculine woman who in this movie we actually see the testicles of, named Miss Man. That is, I'd say.
Yeah, and it's not even clear. Like, it seems like she was transitioning because she's like, I chose things to get ahead in sports.
The whole bit is
So
terrible.
It's
a
the
terrible
whole bit is that I'm talking about very brief. The whole bit is that a man changes gender. The only reason why is to get better at to pretend to be a woman, to compete against women, and to see underage girls naked.
It's truly abominable, and there's that is I would say the
hate crime number whatever, but we'll
I'd say
call
number
it,
two. The biggest
Anyway.
problem in the movie is. So this is, of course, a classic pastiche film where they're going to make fun of Scream. They're going to make fun of I Know What You Did Last Summer. They're going to make fun of
the Bud Light
Sixth Sense,
commercial.
the Bud Light commercial. They're making fun of. This came out in the year 2000. It's making fun of the Blair Witch Project, which came out the year before.
99.
The Matrix, which came out the year before.
99,
The Sixth Sense, which came out the year before. No,
99.
those are all 99.
Those are all
This is
99.
a fresh movie. Like I think it's after our generation, no one will have any idea what this movie is about.
So wait, Shrek came out in 2001, right?
Yeah, this
They
is
saw
a
the
pre-show.
Matrix thing. Matrix was such a fucking. Everyone was copying the Matrix. It was
a before and after moment in Hollywood.
It really was. Wow. I remember when Spaced made fun of the Matrix.
Right, everyone you
Probably
had
the
to.
worst episode, worst little moment of that whole series was when they decided to do a Spaced ripoff
I don't mind.
or a Matrix ripoff. Yeah. You
Okay,
don't
so
mind.
basically,
You're fine. You love all this.
The
shit.
thing about this movie that works is that the best bits in the movie have nothing to do with the fact that it's a satire or a parody.
Absolutely.
The little bits that are thrown into this movie that give it the texture and grit to make it. I laughed my ass off watching this because there's all, the hardest part of these movies, of this kind of like joke a minute, like airplane style rapid fire movie, is that all the little characters who are delivering this have to have a little game that they're playing where these jokes make sense and land. And outside of the truly offensive jokes that are like, and I say offensive not in like well, of course they're politically offensive, but just in the sense of like, this is just a stupid, obvious bit. The little weird bits that work in this movie, like the sheriff showing
You could just
Anna
end
Faris.
your sentence with just the sheriff.
The sheriff is
Sheriff
phenomenal
works.
in this. The casting, like there's this amazing full airplane style thing where it's like there's some photos you have to look at, and there's photos of him modeling in a speedo, and she just very seriously contemplates each one and goes, no. It's one of the funniest things I've seen in a long time.
It
where,
really
like,
works.
It's
And
isolated from everything else in the film, but it's this great little moment because everyone's completely committed to it, and it's hysterical.
It's interesting doing this movie after Harold and Kumar, because to me there's a lot of similarities.
But I feel like in Harold and Kumar, if someone did that, it would be for Kumar to be like, "What the fuck, bro?" or whatever.
Oh no, I know, but it's a similar like. It's a plagued movie. I think Harold and Kumar is much better, and it actually seriously talks about something where this like there are a few like racial jokes that actually land and are at the expense of power structures, but there's like maybe two of them. The only one I really remember is when she is for some reason a computer hacker and she like calls 911 from her computer
And types in "white woman in trouble."
Yeah, and the cops immediately show up.
That's
That
very
was
funny,
funny.
yeah.
That was a good joke. There's also a joke where there's like, oh my god, a white person's died. Like
The black news,
all the
like,
news
this-
channels,
yeah.
and there's like the black news channel, and they're like, fuck, white person's dead. We got to get the fuck out of here. That was a good joke too.
Yeah.
But the jokes that work are few and far between for me. And as you said, most of them have like the jokes that are actually ripping off movies. They're not jokes.
They're easily the least interesting part of the movie.
And that's why
yeah.
like spoof comedies don't exist anymore because they weren't funny, and that was like a relic from like really.
Well, the 70s, or I mean, if not earlier.
Exactly.
I guess early because like in like Flint was basically like supposed to be sort of like silly psychedelic Bond, that
Right.
And there's probably more examples before that.
I think people still like references. People still like masturbate to knowing shit that they feel like other people might not know. But luckily, filmmakers are like, we're not going to make that appropriate behavior.
Though I will say, no spoilers.
Please spoil.
1917 does end with what is clearly a reference to the opening scene of The Spy Who Shagged Me, where there's like a really elaborate dance where one of the soldiers is naked, and they keep covering his genitals with different, like a German helmet,
that was funny.
A shell,
a Boshi helmet.
Then he walks by like a field of cherries, which is a reference earlier in the movie, just so you can't see his genitals.
Right, actually, to
good.
actually spoil the end of the movie, the opening shot of the ending shot of the movie is just referencing the opening shot, which really sucked. It didn't land at all.
It was very stupid. And then the camera pans upward, and you see that the ship overhead is Princess Leia's ship from the fucking beginning of A New Hope.
Is that what that was?
That's what that was.
I thought it was God.
No, it was the ship. It was the
Star
fucking
Wars ship?
Rebel Alliance ship.
Oh my god! So this takes place in the
moments
galaxy
before
far, far away.
A New Hope.
Oh my god!
It's
Why don't you think that was
brilliant
ever in
visionary
Star
filmmaking?
Wars? The German race.
Well, I don't want to blow anyone's minds here, but I think the freaking the Empire is kind of like the Nazis.
No.
Yeah, kind of.
What?
Kind of. No, seriously, bro. Rewatch it.
Wait, those weren't Nazis.
Wait, you think they're
It's World War One.
Well, they're all the same.
Proto-Nazis?
German
No.
now, German then.
Pre-Nazis?
It's pre-Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So all Germans.
It's when you're about to Nazi, but a little comes out first.
Okay, but you can still get pregnant from a
It's true.
pre-Nazi.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Are you gonna make this one of those stupid clips?
Stop! You can't reference that too.
It's
God,
mad.
damn it,
I'm
you're
winking.
fucking-
I'm winking.
No, you're not. No, you are. What this is? What the fuck
I'm
is going on?
winking.
I feel like I'm lost.
Okay, so let's bring it back home, baby. So yes, this entire genre of filmmaking is like, and someone asked me, "Are you guys going to do epic movie, date movie, all the other?"
Oh, the movies?
Honestly, it's not a terrible idea. As I joked with the person who asked me, I think all those movies were released directly to your older brother's bedroom couch VHS player. Like it truly, they must be watched stoned in high school. I think it's very hard.
And as I've said many times on the podcast, when these movies came out, I thought I was too smart for them.
Turns out, maybe by a hair.
And in this case, yeah, I was too smart for this movie. I don't think I would have understood back then because I grew up in Maine, with a very conservative father and no diversity in the state at all. So I don't think I really would have understood why. I just thought it was like, oh, that's dumb. Now watching it after, I've had my mind blown wide open by going to a hippie college.
Yeah.
Yeah, things like that.
Now you know that it's both problematic but delightful.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the core, the central part of the film that is genuinely agonizing and somehow worse than the transphobia. Or not, we don't have to rank these things, but
no, we do.
For persistence,
we must rank them.
We must rank all.
Figure out which ones
crimes.
are
the character
worst crimes.
Doofy, the special needs police officer bit, is genuinely agonizing, and I think it does pay off with him being the killer in the end, and then doing the whole usual suspects thing, which I think is an amazing joke.
Yeah.
Like when he clearly has been pretending the entire time. I think that almost redeems it, but it doesn't make it any less like excruciating to watch like
it sucks.
bargain basement, R-word jokes the entire movie.
Yeah.
It's pretty brutal. Again, I did think the part at the end where he pulls the mustache off and just becomes the coolest guy in the world. That was really funny. And just drives off with the TV reporter. That's funny.
Is it funny?
It is funny because like if the joke is like, oh my god, this like presentation of someone is like mentally challenged is so like brutal and ceaseless, and then at the end he's like, I was just fucking with you.
I think it's so hard to even really evaluate because we're no longer in the year 2000. Like that
I think
joke,
we can definitely evaluate.
But like for me, it's just so awful to watch that whole character for the entire movie. Even if the whole joke is that he was pretending the whole time, it's still a joke at the expense of that whole stereotype and really just making fun of a whole type of person, a group of people.
I mean, I suppose so. I guess maybe I'm being very generous here. Is the joke that like everyone just unquestioningly accepted what is clearly this like grotesque pantomime?
Right.
I don't think
you're
right.
So.
There's very little winning.
No, I don't think it's like, oh, look how like awful everyone else is. I can get away with making this extreme, exaggerated version of a mentally. I don't even know what. It doesn't even matter.
It's bad.
It's just bad.
It's bad. Look, this is not a movie I would recommend casually to anybody. Like,
what I find fascinating is that you like. I think the difference between Harold and Kumar and these are all. I'm lumping those together.
Yeah, it's early
and a
aughts
love guru
comedy. Okay,
is
yeah.
that Love Guru takes itself incredibly seriously. And you can tell that Mike Myers actually thinks the Love Guru character is good. And like we should all be listening and taking advice from this Love Guru character.
But also structurally speaking, the thing about the Love Guru is that it sits on one joke for an entire scene. So
Right.
like whatever appalling joke is being made is the only joke happening for like minutes at a stretch.
Right.
And at least in this movie, I would say the hit rate is still shockingly high for a joke a minute movie. They hit pretty frequently, which I think is kind of impressive.
Yeah.
Then also there's like brilliant little touches, like the casting of that genuinely bizarre man as the principal. That's like it seems like he's doing like a fucking Pee Wee Herman bit, Mr. Squidward or whatever. I can look up who that was.
Squiggle or something.
Mr. Squiggleman.
Squibble.
That was who the fuck? What that was incredible. Oh, Sherry O'Terry's great in this too.
Who's
as
that?
The TV reporter.
Yeah, she was good.
She was fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out who that was.
For me, you seem to. So here's the difference. We're
David L. Lander as Principal Squiggy.
Squiggy. So here's the difference between Josh and Charles.
Okay. Okay. Well, hold on. Just 1 second.
Yeah, fine.
He was in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Who was he?
Oh, he was in Laverne and Shirley.
Who was he?
Titan. He was in Titan AE. You know Titan AE.
I do know Titan.
We all
AE.
fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
Everyone's probably dusting off their copy of it right now.
Yeah. Should we do Titan AE and Titan AF and Titan AG?
Wow, Titan Attorney General.
Yeah.
For the third movie, where the Titan at the core of it all becomes
the core
Attorney
Titan.
General. So he was Squiggy on Laverne and Shirley, which, generationally speaking, I'm sure some people know. I have no idea. What
Anyway.
that means. Yeah, go ahead,
I'd like to point out the difference between a Josh and a Charles.
please.
A Josh is so happy to laugh that he is able to forget the ills that just happened seconds before the joke that works for you. And a Charles is so concerned by the jokes that don't work that I'm not in the mood to laugh at the ones that do unless they're very, very funny. So for me, I think I laughed like maybe 3 or 4 times the entire movie.
I was cutting fucking.
You're like farting. You were laughing so hard.
Okay, let's put this in context. I drove through a perilous nightmare snowstorm on the Mass Pike where I truly thought I was going to die a couple times. It was like a really horrible drive.
Yeah.
And then it chilled out and had like a nice, like relaxing, you drive on some back roads. That was a lot more calm and relaxing. And I listened to some humorous podcasting along the way, and a chuckle or two will certainly brighten anyone's day.
That's true.
So when I got here, I was like, I'm ready to laugh.
So you were just ready to laugh.
I wanted
We
to
could
just
have
live
put
and
on
laugh. But
Shadow and
okay.
Fog or whatever.
Yeah, the House of Shadow and Fogs and
No,
such.
what's the Holocaust? I'm trying to.
Oh,
I'm
fucking
trying
the
to relate
Primo
to you.
Levi. I don't know.
No, the one by Alain René.
I just said another French
Night and
name.
Fog.
Fucking
Night
fine.
and
We'll watch
Fog.
Night and Fog.
We'll watch Night and Fog, please.
Yeah, we'll watch it next.
Great.
Instead of doing Scary Movie 2, we're going to watch Night and Fog.
And then Scary Movie 3.
And then Scary Movie 3.
And Scary Movie
We're going to replace
We're going to replace 2
entirely
with Night and Fog.
Night and Fog.
It's only 45 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, just listeners, pause this, throw on Night and Fog.
Can I
Get
tell
back
you a
to
weird
our
story?
scary movie review. That is a scary movie.
2 years ago,
About fucking the human nature.
I was in a really bad place, as anyone listened to The Real Deal with Josh and Charles remembers.
The former podcast we used to do.
I was by myself on Super Bowl Sunday. Because I don't remember. I just really didn't want to see anyone. So I was watching the Super Bowl by myself, which I think anyone who watches sports, it's sort of fun to watch it by yourself. But at a certain point, you like have no one to talk to. You don't really share anything.
You got to say stuff like, you should have done that there.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why did you do that? I would have done that better.
So at halftime, or even before halftime, I just started watching Night and Fog.
This is a dark story.
Instead of watching the Super Bowl, and then I watched it and I thought about it for a little while. And then I watched the last like 10 minutes of the Super Bowl. That was really exciting.
That's fucked up, man.
Yeah. I think I'd watched. Oh yeah, it was because I just watched the James Baldwin documentary, and I didn't like it. I don't think it was a good movie.
I think people should just read James Baldwin.
Yes, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's one of those movies where it's like,
Look, whatever. Any movie that's going to increase his profile, I think he's one of the
absolutely, it's so good, and like people are actually we're talking about him. I think it did good things. I don't think it's a well-made movie because all it did was just like, it's one of those movies where you can just learn. It doesn't do anything other than tell you exactly what you could just read in 5 minutes.
Yeah, put down the screen, pick up a book.
So I was like, maybe I should watch a documentary that I've never seen before and that people seem to think is a really good movie. And I'll tell you, Night and Fog, if you haven't seen it, I don't even know if it's called Night and Fog. I'm hoping it's called Night and Fog.
Less laughs than
Then
Scary
the James
Movie.
Baldwin, or what was that movie called?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Read Giovanni's room. Pause this. Go read Giovanni's room.
Yeah, it's actually a good idea.
Why not?
You don't even pause this.
Just
unplug
turn
your
this
headphones.
down. Yeah,
Just turn it down.
Yeah,
Let it keep going.
If you're on the
Go
train,
do something else.
if you're in your kitchen with your family,
Watch something else.
Anyways, let's get back to Scary Movie. Here's what I'm saying. You're talking about not being able to forgive the hate crimes of this film.
It's not even that. It's that even if the joke isn't a hate crime,
It sucks the
if
life
there's
out
a
of the
bad
experience.
joke, I'm just like, all right, and then I just.
But you can't watch a movie like this with that attitude. It's like watching
sorry.
30 Rock, where it's like, if you don't like the first 6 jokes in this scene, there's going to be 12 more, and you have to just
That's why I
give them
don't
the
watch
benefit.
30 Rock.
You're such a fucking dumbass.
You forced me to. This was your pick.
I know. I wanted to watch a hate crime movie.
God.
No, I don't know. I mean, I think
this is good for me.
the Wayans are all over the map. Their creative history is all over the map. They like to go
And they were
as
in it, right?
broad as possible.
I don't think I've seen a Wayans brother movie.
Well, I mean, the American classic White Chicks.
I've never seen it. So it was,
That is White Chicks is genuinely a fucking face-meltingly bizarre and incredible film.
they're in it though, right?
They play the titular White Chicks.
No,
they play
no,
two
no,
black
no.
cops
I
who go
know.
undercover
I gotta
as
see
White
it.
Chicks.
But in this movie,
Yeah, Sean and Marlon are in this movie.
yeah,
Yeah. It's fucking. Sean plays Ray.
yeah. Can you tell me which one's which?
Oh boy.
Sorry, you can look it up. I'll allow that.
Oh, you'll allow it. That's
Yeah.
kind of you. Marlon Wayans plays Shorty, the stoner.
Yeah.
And the great Sean Wayans plays Ray, the possibly closeted, ambiguously gay football player.
All right. So I think that's a good segue. I think because there are main characters to this movie.
We haven't talked about the creme de la creme of this movie, my favorite part of the entire movie and franchise, which is why I picked it. The Anna Faris of it all.
That's what I was gonna say. Let's just talk about our main characters, because I think that's gonna ground me in like sort of knowing what this movie was even about.
Okay.
Is there a point to this movie? Is it actually a film, or is it just a series of terrible bits?
It's basically a series of terrible bits, but I love it. So yeah, the core of this
tell us
movie.
who's in this movie. What we got? We got 5.
Just let me fucking live my life for a minute. We got to talk about Anna Faris, motherfucker.
Okay.
Anna Faris is fucking awesome. What
She
makes Airplane work?
What's Anna Faris?
At the core of Airplane is Julie Haggerty,
Sure.
someone who is the ultimate straight woman. She doesn't respond to anything with an ounce of cynicism or an analysis. She just responds to this fucking shit happening around her as literally and earnestly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And she's the core of that movie. It's what makes it work.
Yeah.
No matter what happens on the
That's
airplane.
why Leslie Nielsen was so funny in those movies, because he does the same thing.
Right, to be dry beyond the point of like any other consideration, to just accept what's happening and respond to it. And Anna Faris in this movie is choked and beaten and stabbed and thrown out of windows and is hit by cars and sees all of her friends die around her and is just stoic and hilarious and sweet and dedicated and so funny the entire time. I think without Anna Faris at the core of this movie, literally none of it works.
I agree.
And I think her performance in this and her subsequent performances in the series are so delightful to see someone like do to create like the horror spoof genre ultimate straight woman. I think is a tour de force performance, and I think it's why you never put Anna Faris in the corner.
Never in the corner.
Not a once.
That's a good idea.
She's so good in this.
She's good. I mean, that's the thing. I think that's why this movie also falls down a little bit, is that like a Airplane, this movie multiple times is like, oh, you're watching a movie. Oh, look, there's the people making the movie. I think the Airplane movies and the Police Squad and what is the Police Squad movies called?
The Naked
Gun.
Yeah.
They make things so ridiculous that it's like this could only exist in a movie, but they never go that extra step where it's like you're watching the movie and look, these actors are actors and they're not showing, like they're pretending that they're not in a movie.
I think when the camera hits her in the face, though, it's funny. I think that's the best joke from the.
That's a good joke. Yeah, that's a funny joke. But like they mention the script sometimes. They mention like, and sometimes that can work. But I think this style of comedy really works when, as you said, like in Airplane and this, they are just like so earnest, so dedicated, doing the thing that a person would normally do, that even in the face of complete nonsense, they're still just being like, oh yeah, this is real. And that's hilarious. That's a funny joke. And I think this movie often overstepped that to the point where it no longer became funny for me.
Well, no, this is definitely a grab bag movie. I think when you have like 5 or 6 writers, like you have this sense of like some scenes are very much one tone, some scenes are very much another tone. Even in the just like comedically speaking, like it's all over the map. And you're right, like a large part of this does not work. And I'm fascinated to watch the second movie, which I think is the bigger profile one. Unless I'm totally mistaken, 2 has Chris Elliott and David Cross.
Oh shit! That actually sounds good.
You're right. I believe I'm getting that right. So
Yeah.
let's get down to it. This is a sort of a controversial watch so far. Are you at this point asking when will it end? This movie you've described as being full of hate crimes. So I'm not that in suspense. If you're tapping out, I sort of get it.
Yeah, I unfortunately for me, I'm done.
That's really bad.
So here's what
We have several to go.
after all that I've learned
Yeah.
from this podcast that has invaded my life in a lot of ways. I'm excited for Scary Movie 4, I think. I'm hoping that by like the time it gets farther and farther ahead, it's going to become funny at some point.
You realize that Craig Mazin
Who's that?
wrote Scary Movie 4 with Jim Abrams. He's the guy who did Chernobyl.
Weird.
Yeah, Craig Mazin. You got a little Chernobyl magic in 4.
The like HBO show?
Yeah.
Weird. That's not particularly funny.
Okay, no, yeah, okay. The second movie has Tim Curry, Tori Spelling, Chris Elliott, Kathleen Robertson, David Cross, and James Woods. It's
Okay.
delightful. And so there's only 2 Wayans. So this is the first Wayans, then that's the second Wayans. Then
Oh,
they're
I thought
out.
you meant there's only 2 Wayans.
No,
Like,
there's
I know.
many Wayans.
Oh, there are?
You,
I mean,
don't know,
there's-
you don't know shit about culture.
Yeah,
You know
that's
that?
what I
You
do.
know
A culture
fucking
podcast.
shit about culture.
Wait, how many Wayans are there?
Well, let's pull up the Wayans list. Let's see. There's.
They're the Wayans brothers.
I'm trying to figure out. There's the.
Is there a Wayans father?
1 second.
It's got to be a Wayans father.
The Wayans clan. The Wayans brothers.
So there's a lot more than one brother.
Well, I'm
I
trying to
thought
look
there were
it up.
just 2 of them.
Well, there's the show. There's only 2 of them on the show. The Wayans family. Here we go. Okay.
Is that the name of a show? The Wayans family?
Shantae Wayans, Damon Wayans, Kim Wayans, Marlon Wayans, Damon Wayans Jr., Keenan Ivory Wayans, and Sean Wayans. That's the Wayans.
I think you said one of them twice.
No, there's Damon Wayans, Damon Wayans Jr.
You didn't say Sean twice?
No, I said Sean one time.
Okay.
He was the last one on the list.
Yeah.
That's the Wayans family.
Okay, I'm not even going to ask what they do. I don't care
Comedy, writing, production.
so much.
Yeah, they can do it all.
So I'm excited.
Oh, Craig Mazin wrote the 3rd one, too. Holy shit, Craig Mazin.
Weird.
A Primetime Emmy Award-winning...
I'm very excited to get out of, honestly, the Wayans era. Because the next one comes out a year later. Nothing's going to change. It's going to be the same fucking bullshit. I'm not excited for that. I'm excited for when does Scary Movie 5 come out? Like 2013 or something?
2013.
I'm excited for that one.
Right.
I'm excited because there's like a huge gap. I think it's like 2001, 2002,
Okay, so
2003.
first off, the second movie comes out less than a year after the first movie.
Which that means that that's the joke. The like tagline was a joke. There's no way they
Well, I guess in subsequent posters they crossed, and subsequent DVDs they like cross out the no sequel. They put an X over it.
Yeah.
So I think initially it was supposed to be like we're going to be irreverent and raise a middle finger.
But if it came out less than a year later, you think they just like greenlit that thing so fast, moved it through production?
The first movie made almost $300 million on a $19 million budget.
Wow, I can't believe this cost $19 million.
I mean, that actually is remarkable.
In the year 2000, that cost $19 million. Jesus.
Yeah.
There wasn't even any. I guess when the grandmother gets hit by the piano, that's a special effect.
That bit is so fucking good. That's the kind of bit I love.
It should have gone on longer.
Where the masked killer is chasing Anna Faris to the house, and she throws a vase at the guy, a mountain bike, her grandmother, and then a piano, which then misses the killer and hits her grandmother. That joke rules.
To me, that joke.
Her father, her dad.
Oh,
that bit is fucking hysterical.
He's great. So that's what this movie needs. It's just like, I hate reference comedy. I know I've said it before. I'll say it again probably. You're going to hear it again, Josh. I just don't think it's funny. So the fact that this whole series is like hinging on, I've never seen Blair Witch. So I've seen the trailer, so I knew what that scene was referencing. But it's like, even if I'd seen the movie, I don't really understand why that's funny. You liked it. You liked the snot pouring down.
Well, it's because they're
It's
doing
just
they're
such an
doing
obvious
Blair
joke.
Witch,
It's
but
just-
the joke is that she's like really snotting. It's just silly. It's
I
funny.
know, it's not
It takes
funny.
an iconic shot, makes it gross and irreverent, like Mad Magazine would. What would Alfred E. Newman think of it? He'd love it.
He'd love it. I'm glad he's dead.
He's-
Is he dead?
He's in like permanent reruns. They stopped making new Mad Magazine content. Now it's like all just reruns.
Wow, that's weird. People
It's
still
sad.
subscribe to it?
Well, I mean, where else are you going to find their dumb take on classic films? They do 1917 to be like 1907 fart.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, I love farting. I really do.
Yeah.
Before the
Fart.
war, all I did was fart.
My mother farted. She had a variety of farts. How do you know so much about farts, child?
He didn't say child.
I do.
And this is kind of harsh. Allmusic only gives the soundtrack to Scary Movie 3 stars.
That's not great.
Roger
Pretty good,
Ebert
though.
gives the movie 3 out of 4 stars.
Oh my god! Can you please bring up like
Yes,
his
happily.
closing argument?
Um,
That's insane. This seems
Okay.
like a movie that Ebert would hate. But I guess
Ebert
I
did
don't-
not find the film as innovative, saying the film lacked, quote, the shocking impact of Airplane, which had the advantage of breaking new ground. However, Ebert did give the film 3 out of 4 stars, saying it, quote, delivers the goods,
Can you imagine Ebert sitting in his dumb little chair?
calling the film a, quote, raucous satirical attack on slasher movies.
Oh my god, his brain was
Just, come on.
dude. This is not anything on slasher movies. This doesn't poke any fun at slasher movies.
Yeah, it does. That's the whole fucking thing.
It uses a slasher movie as
As
an
a motif
excuse
for
to make
hilarious
dumb,
gay jokes.
fucking homophobic jokes.
Yeah.
It doesn't say. It's not like, oh, look how dumb these movies are.
Hold on, this soundtrack, though, Fountains of Wayne, Bloodhound Gang, Silverchair, The Ramones, Tupac Shakur, Black Eyed Peas, Public Enemy. How 3 stars for
3
that?
stars. That's a good
What the
soundtrack.
fuck, all music? I gotta look up that.
So I
too.
got it in the wake of a HK verse.
Right, coming
What
off the
did
heels
you-
of
what
another
do you-
gross.
No, I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the stoner parts of this movie? Because I feel like the stoner parts of this movie were way more stoner comedy than
Oh, yeah.
HK ever got.
Right, HK uses that as like a launching pad for like goofy visuals or whatever. But this movie really embraces the fact that like the killer just like hangs out with stoners and they just like say stupid shit and rap and are really fucking annoying and it's
Yeah.
hysterical. Those bits on themselves I thought were great.
Yeah, I think those
I
really
think
were.
Shorty was one of my favorite characters in the movie.
I do like the joke where he gets shot and smoke starts pouring out of his body.
And he
And
goes, you want to hit this?
I
And
feel
he
like-
starts smoking weed out of his own punctured lung. That's so funny.
that's a good joke. And I feel like it could have been better. I feel like now if that joke had been done, they
Oh,
would've-
spoiler, Shorty dies.
Yeah, they would have cut the line where he says, "It hit me in the lung," because it's like so obvious. But I think they really had to explain it to people. 2000 was a dumb. People were fucking dumb.
Well, this is interesting. Here's the all-music review by Heather Fairies.
Jeez,
Though
you
it's
can't
not
let
as
this
funny
go.
or inventive as the movie itself, Scary Movie the soundtrack is a decent, diverse collection of hip-hop and rock.
Wow, how many stars did that get? 5?
3. No, I told you.
Oh, this is
only
the 3?
They gave the soundtrack only 3 stars.
What do they want? What else could they want?
But Heather is giving the movie a lot of credit. Funny and inventive.
2000 was dumb.
It was a dumb
It was a
time. It was a
dumb year.
I mean, look. Here's my thing. Here's my hope for this series. And by the way, I am not asking you to
I
enroll in.
know
I
you're
cannot
not.
wait
You're
to watch the
fucking-
next movie.
yeah.
This is the kind of like stupid, rude movie on VHS you watch with your friends in middle school in a basement. And of course it's aged poorly. Of course it's morally reprehensible.
I don't think it aged poorly. I don't think it was good in the year 2000.
I'm not saying it
didn't
was
watch
good or
it
not
then.
good, but I'm saying this had a huge cultural impact when it came out. And it set off, again, a franchise that has grossed under $1 billion, okay? Under $1 billion. Almost 900 million.
Almost a billion.
Over 5 movies. That's a franchise, baby.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to. Can you bring up the production? You're good at this.
Yeah.
I want to hear some numbers.
No, here's the thing. The box office Mojo redesign disaster.
I know. I'm sorry.
I can't. I'm not going to the website. It's a
Are you
fucking
fucking
nightmare.
kidding me?
I mean, it opened on July 7th.
No, I want to know. I want to know the budgets for each movie,
Oh,
and I'll even if here. Boop. All right, I'm just gonna cut out all this shit. Just go find it for me, please.
stop yelling at me. I have to go through each one individually. Let's just
No, you
do
can just do it on your phone.
I'm doing it on my fucking phone.
What the fuck?
Okay, the second movie budget. Well, the second movie did a lot worse. $45 million budget, $141 million to the box office.
Still a success.
Yeah, but the metrics are way off. I'm so excited. Anna Faris is in all of these.
Yeah.
The third one has Leslie Nielsen, Kevin Hart, Anthony
Right.
Anderson. Also, can I say these are like diverse movies at the very least?
Wait, you
like,
just shut your phone off. I want to know these numbers.
I don't want to do numbers right now. It's not important.
This sucks. I'm
The third one
fucking-
did a lot better.
I'm a-
Similar budget to the second movie. It made $220 million. Good for them.
I think Leslie Nielsen drew in some of those numbers.
Maybe, but no, I mean, these are like I think it's cool to watch movies where there's like there is like diversity in a 2000 comedy. I'm trying to pick at some of the silver linings of this movie. Like, it's a diverse collection of bigotry. Like, the bigots are of varying backgrounds for their hateful, bigoted jokes. Isn't that good? Isn't that nice? Doesn't we all win now? It's good.
I love how you defend this shit.
Yeah, it's okay.
You defend this shit.
As long as it's a diverse
cast of bigots.
Then that's better than just, white
One
bigots.
bigot.
Yeah.
One bigot.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that over time, these movies, like with Harold and Kumar, by the third movie, it aged successfully into a movie that is surprisingly not that problematic. Like, for a movie that is a gross out, stupid comedy. So what I'm hoping is that the engine of things that work in this movie, the joke-a-minute absurdity of the airplane model, plugged into a new generation of silly movies, from disaster to the slasher horror film of the 90s, I do think that it has that potential to transcend the grossest, basest elements of the first movie. So I'm saying, yes, Scary Movie 1, don't watch Mixed Company. It's fucking stupid. It's truly offensive.
I would say don't watch. I would say watch, like, the scene with the father on YouTube. Watch.
I think if you're revisiting movies that were iconic to your young life of watching rude movies, at a time where rude movies were really proliferating across the cosmos as never before, this is, a movie with a lot of serious problems that I'm not taking lightly. It is genuinely hateful in some ways, or at least casually bigoted in a way that is pretty, reprehensible.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, it is an interesting artifact of its time. There's a million other movies you should watch other than this.
Yeah, but it's short. I want to say this seems like a tight 90, but it's not one.
It's barely 88 minutes.
It's 120, and it feels like 2.
I don't know. I thought it flowed. I thought it flowed.
I was so fucking done by
really
45 minutes in. I was just like, Jesus Christ, when is? I thought it just kept. I kept wanting it. That's the problem with these movies, is that when they're just like a joke a minute fire, it's like you don't get a. There's no arc. There's no story. So
the second half is complete pudding. There's no structure to the second half.
The whole thing is pudding.
No, but the first half they do a lot of setting up.
Pudding.
Pudding's fucking awesome.
It's for pudding.
I fucking love pudding.
I would fucking eat this shit.
Hey, listen, what's your favorite pudding? Write in.
Yeah, hashtag
vanilla,
pudding.
chocolate, both, swirl,
strawberry,
almond milk. They do strawberry pudding now?
They've always done strawberry.
Really?
Pudding. They've done any kind of pudding.
Wow, I guess out here in the big city. Must be nice. Must be nice.
Here's some pudding facts.
Must be nice.
Put this in your pudding fact book.
Ugh, that's what he calls my butthole.
Before 1958, puddings of all varieties because they're made by local pudding men and pudding women.
American pudding industrial.
But then Big Pudding got involved,
no.
and all you could get was vanilla, chocolate, and swirl.
And then, of course, Dwight D. Eisenhower, I like Ike, he said, we got to be careful for in the society is the friggin' Big Pudding complex. Jesus.
So, thankfully, in the aughts,
they paid to change that quote to the military-industrial complex. That's how powerful Big Pudding is.
Right.
We got to put the heat on somebody else, and we have the power to change history.
Yeah, so they edited all the tapes.
Well, to create the ultimate pudding, they had to go back in time. So the core of Big Pudding is a, Terminator-style time machine. They keep sending pudding representatives to the past to shape the structure of history to better implement the goals and objectives of Big Pudding. Yeah. Why would I make this up?
I don't know, but thankfully,
am I fucking crazy?
I'm just saying, thankfully now there's craft pudding out there again, and you can get a strawberry, you can get a chia seed,
kombucha pudding. Yeah. It's like a fizzy pudding.
You can get mud. You can get mud avocado pudding. It's delicious.
My favorite pudding is buckwheat.
You're a buckwheat guy.
I'm a buckwheat. I like a good.
That's also your favorite little
pudding.
rascal.
Oh, well, he's certainly known for his shenanigans.
Yeah.
And when he applauds himself in that manner of which he is known to do, shaking of the hands, it's very good. He's a very funny young man, that Buckwheat.
Yeah.
He had great hair. That was a good era. I mean, Alfalfa had a wild hair. That whole crew had some crazy shit going on. What was up with that gang? Our gang was lit.
They were fucking rule. If you want to talk diversity.
Yeah, a very diverse group. There was a fat kid, a girl.
2 girls.
A nerd.
2 fat
Buckwheat.
kids.
It was a pretty good gang.
Yeah, good gang.
Yeah. What was what's his name? Was the Porky, Sporty, Porky, Puggy?
The fat kid?
Puggle, Sportums.
Yeah, he's named all. That was his whole name.
Yeah, it's a
very long name.
It's very beautiful. It's actually a Mayflower family.
Are you talking about Spanky?
Spanky.
Yeah.
The Spankies came over on the first ships. They were Puritans. He's derived with Puritan stock. Are they all just poor in that?
Yes, that is the joke. It's a bunch of poor kids.
Like these fucking poor pieces of shit.
Yeah.
They do all kinds of dumb stuff because they're poor.
But they were probably all rich in real life, which is really weird to think about.
Yeah, I'm sure they all died at like 18.
Probably.
I think they all died in the war.
Oh, do you think they went to war?
Yeah, they definitely did.
Spanky and war.
Imagine watching going to Normandy and you see alfalfa get a fucking Nazi bullet drilled through his skull. You're like cleaning alfalfa's brains out. You're like, no. He was part of our gang. Alfalfa. No. You fucking love Lola or
you
whatever.
You just like use his brain matter and blood to like shape his hair finally into that one last alfalfa, the Catholic strand. Gonna miss you, alfalfa.
Spanky, of course, overdosed morphine.
That's on. I think that's actually true.
Our gang. Yeah.
No, I was actually. I wanted to say this. I want to say this.
Yeah, please say. We're not done. We got 5 minutes to kill. Yeah. Listener, it's going to be coasting downhill from here. Get on that bicycle.
Here's what I want to say.
Yeah.
Before this, Bad Boys.
What you gonna do?
Directed by Michael Bay. Before this, HK. Written by the same two guys, directed probably by the same. I don't even look, but I'm excited that this franchise.
The writers did the third one.
Writers did all of them. It's like,
but then they directed the third one.
Yeah,
and that was the best one.
But it was the best one. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying we've had the same minds shaping the last few franchises, and sort of like with Shrek, we were really excited to like see franchise starts, and then they just sort of let other people take it over, and it just sort of hops around using the world to let other people sort of instill their vision on a place that we're familiar with. I'm excited that even though, it's 2 by the Wayans, 2 by the Zuckers.
3. The Zuckers did 3, 4, and 5.
Oh.
Well, they were involved in 3, 4, and 5.
Oh. Well, never mind then.
No, but I'm saying there's 2 general sweeps of the movie series.
I was hoping there'd be a third sweep.
I think there's some more. There's
like a third sweep.
Yeah, Keenan Ivory directed the first 2, then Zucker did the second 2, and then Malcolm D. Lee directed the 5th one, but it was written partially by David Zucker.
Okay. Well, a few minds. I just sort of am liking that we're back in a place where it's very loose. If there's one nice thing I can say about these movies is that it's sort of, there's no way that was not this is always set up to be a franchise, Josh. I can't imagine that this was like that. That's a joke on the poster.
No, I genuinely believe
that's maybe the best joke of the whole film is that the poster was making fun of franchise culture by saying this is going to be a standalone, and then 9 months later releasing number 2. Like this is exactly what they were making fun of.
It's 12 months, but like a couple days before.
But I'm just saying like that's the best joke.
I think the best joke is that most of these people come back in the second movie who were violently killed in this movie.
That's a good joke. And I think the best joke is the Canadian father who's
a coke dealer and a fucking miserable, horrible person.
No, he was very nice. That was like the good joke was that he was actually like loved his daughter and was like, all right, I've been training you to be a drug dealer
since you were 2. Life. Yeah, it's so good.
It's a good joke.
What are you going to cut it with? Baking powder, not soda.
Yeah, that's good. So he's funny.
Look, here's what I'm saying. Here's my pitch to you to uncancel this series. I think it can really go places if my memory of the second movie, and again, I'm setting myself up for failure, but I remember the second one being very funny. I'm sure it's like offensive in its own way. I know Chris Elliott plays a genuinely horrifying character that should be really fun. I'm excited about this.
I'm not. I'm not excited for this. I mean, I haven't seen anything else the Wayans brothers have done. And I think they're actually really good actors.
They're delightful in these
They were very fun. And I think they're good at that. I don't know that they really... Oh, they just directed it. They wrote it too. Yeah. I don't think they cannot be trusted.
This is not a ringing endorsement of their ability to conceptualize a movie that is not a waking nightmare. But I am very excited to see the series progress. I think the jokes that land in this one are really funny.
Yeah, that's true.
And if we're sifting through the dog shit of franchise culture, this is just, I think we're going to be delighted. And I'm looking forward to this little ride we're going to take. If you want to go and take a ride with me or watch scary movies, baby, can't you see? Must be the irreverent take on genre parody spoofing. Please don't cut it there. Please don't end on that note. Please don't end on that note. Please don't. Charles, no. Pick it up. No. I'm alone now. I'm alone in a podcast. I'm alone in my heart. He's gonna cut it anytime now. Gonna try to end on a good note.